Today, I'm addressing the first-time managers or supervisors. Okay, maybe you've been just promoted. You just got promoted from peer or from individual contributor into a managerial positions. Congratulations. But now, this is what most companies do this when they promote somebody from an individual contributor into a managerial position. They spot you from where you were previously, for instance, which was just you and your colleagues. It was you and the product. You were performing very well in working with that particular service or product. Then you did very well because of maybe you are excellent in what you are doing and your disposition and everything. Then they're like, this one, we definitely have to promote him into a managerial position. Then how they do it, then they call you maybe the manager calls you to his office, then he breaks it to you first individually. Then later, maybe he will take the stuff out for dinner or for lunch or whatever. Then he breaks the good news, champagnes. Hey, Moses Makatini has been promoted now. He's into marketing department or sales department or whatever. Which is good, which is excellent. Yay, everyone is really happy, blah, 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 whatever. Then over the weekend, it hits you that, by the way, I was working with a product there, which has got nothing to do with managing and leading people. Now, can you imagine what's going to happen to you on your first week, or say maybe a month, even a week? You are totally clueless. And they tell you that, look, you're starting on Monday. And well, me as your manager, I have an open door policy. So if you need any help, then yeah, you just shout. So they will show you your desk and your office where you'll be working, and you can meet your people. And this is it. Nothing else. You were never a manager before. It's the first time. And you start now doubting yourself. Then something we call imposter syndrome sits in. Then you start experiencing running stomachs. You have nightmares on how are you going to approach this whole thing come Monday. You were never taken for any short course, at least crash course, just to brief you, to tell you about leadership, or to teach you about leadership and management. Nothing. Now we are going to address those fears, something we call, one of which is, of course, something we call imposter syndrome. Now, what is an imposter syndrome? Now, an imposter syndrome is a psychological pattern in which you doubt your achievement, talent, skills, and have an internalized, persistent fear of being exposed as a fraud. It is a conflict between your perception of others and how you see yourself. For instance, you might say to yourself, as you've been promoted, you might say to yourself, no, man, somebody else must do this job. There's somebody out there who's more qualified than me who can do this job. No, I can't take this. Where you doubt yourself. And it's all in your mind, by the way. That's how you see yourself. And each time you work, you feel like you are pretending to be something you are not. And soon someone is going to find out that you are a fraud. You are terrified. And remember, all that is just a construct of your mind that is part of your internal monologue, the so-called inner critic, what you tell yourself, what you're repeatedly telling yourself. That is fine, but the question is, why are you focusing on a negative? Doubting your skills and your capabilities? Why are you self-sabotaging? The reason why you think like that is because, please listen to this. Human brain is designed and wired to focus on a negative side of every threat and danger that you face to protect you. And that is called negative bias. The moment you are facing a danger or a dangerous situation, then your brain switches into fight, flee, or freeze mode. In other words, as you are facing this threatening situation, do you fight it, or do you flee, or do you run away, or you fly, or you just freeze and maybe hide from this dangerous situation you are facing at that time? But because your brain, as I told you earlier on, your brain is already tilted to the negative, obviously you will be scared and you will be terrified. And that's what causes phobia. Okay, as you know, many people got different phobias out there. It's because of that situation. And in this case, of course, your brain is trying to protect you from being found out or exposed as a fraud. You see? The second cause of imposter syndrome, of course, is your upbringing, the way you are brought up. Maybe you brought up in an environment where your parents kept on telling you that you are nothing, or maybe it could be your parents or your teachers, or maybe you were bullied in school, or everywhere where you used to go, you used to be bullied. Okay, because some teachers out there can be very nasty. You may find that you grew up in an environment where you were being told that you are nothing, you won't amount to anything. All right. And this thing of body shaming, guys, this thing of, hey, you big nose. I'm laughing because, I mean, Malema here he always calls our president big nose. Things like that, where you're being called big nose, big head, ditsebe or majebe or big ears, all those kind of things affect your self-esteem. Okay, you grow up as a child thinking that you are nothing. Other people are better than you. They deserve better. And you ended up believing that negative talks that people say about you. Now that's where the problem is. The belief you have about yourself. Right there, where you end up believing that negative things that people are keep on saying about yourself. That's the bone of contention right there. And how about societal bias towards gender and race? It can also called imposter syndrome on the affected demographics. For instance, in South Africa, we have this thing where blacks were conditioned to think that they are subhuman, they are inferior than white people. Now, if you grew up with that mentality, you find that when you want to reach the position where you need to be promoted into managerial position, and only to find that in that in that department, or should I say, all the managers out there are white people, that's going to affect you. That's going to cause an imposter syndrome, because you look around all white people and you're the only black person there. Then you're like, no, I'm not worthy. I don't belong here. They must call another white guy, not me. There's a problem right there. Or you are a woman who grew up in a country or environment where women are mistreated or are treated as nobodies. Okay? And when your opportunity comes, when we have to be promoted to be a manager, then only to find that All the managers up there are male managers. Do you know what that's gonna do on your psyche? You'll be like, no, I don't belong here. And definitely that will plunge you into an imposter syndrome. Now, how to overcome imposter syndrome? Now, this is very crucial, guys, because remember, for you to be able to move on in life, in this life, you have to deal with imposter syndrome, definitely. Otherwise, you won't be able to go anywhere. You will never go anywhere in life. Okay, that's very important. Now, let's look at now how to overcome imposter syndrome. Number one, reframe your thinking. It's all up here. Change how you look at yourself. Change your attitude about yourself. When you wake up every morning, you look at yourself in the mirror. What do you see? Do you see a failure or do you see an achiever? Work on that. Work on that. Decide to focus on the positive, because as you are doing that, you are overwriting the negative that your brain kept on feeding you each time you are facing a challenging situation. And you are tilting it all the way, and you end up now confessing more positive things than negative things. And it's nicer when now your brain now, instead of controlling you with all these negative things, it controls you with all these positive things or positive confessions as you are working on yourself. Question will be, of course, how? Moses, I hear you. You say, I must reframe my mind. I must change the way I look at myself. How do I do that? Now, remember, you are where you are because of what people have been telling you about yourself. All these negative things they've been feeding you. That means now to deal with that thing, now you need to reverse all that. What you need to do? You need to do something we call self-talk. Self-talk, those are phrases, group of sentences that you confess, that you tell yourself on daily basis. You tell yourself repeatedly until they manifest in your life, until whatever you are confessing or saying about yourself, it's visible now. You can see happening in your life. Things like, for instance, things like, I'm smart, I'm handsome, I'm strong, can do anything, I'm intelligent. Now, listen, you don't have to be intelligent before you confess that. Even if you know that, well, you are not intelligent or you are not smart as you think, but as a virtue of you repeating that, confessing that, your subconscious mind takes that and it delivers right on that sentence that you keep on confessing about yourself. That's what happened on the negative side. That's why you're here. So the very same way now, confess all these good things about yourself. I'm smart. I'm a good English speaker. I'm eloquent in English. Confess all those kind of things. Maybe you can even write about 5 of them. You can write about 5 sentences that you'll confess every morning or while you are driving. That's what you call self-talk. Now, it depends which area that you're not happy about. You simply confess that. 1.2, we're still on number 1. 1.2, you need to be honest about yourself. You need to realize that you have gaps in your knowledge, just like anyone else. Read books about leadership and management. You do have gaps. That's very, very important to understand. You have to know that you will fail one day, just like anyone else. That makes you human. You didn't fail because you are stupid. Number 2, as a first-time manager, learn to say no. That is very important. Learn to say no. And make sure that you focus on things that you are expected to achieve as a first-time manager. If you just respond to every inbox and say yes to every inbox messages out there that you get on your email, then you'll have a problem. You'll find that your priorities will be distorted. You won't be spending more time on things that you are expected to know, but you will be all over the place. That's crucial. Learn to say no. That's not easy, but learn it anyway. Number 3, remember, you are working on yourself here. You are working on your mind here. Stay away from negative people. Stay away from time wasters. Remember, as a manager / leader, you already have no time. You already have no time because there are some books out there that you have bought. You have met your mentor or your coach. Obviously, he will be giving you some homeworks. He will be monitoring how you do certain things. Okay. As a leader or as a manager, already you have no time. In your new position, of course, you've got a lot of work to do. Stay away from negative people who will keep on reminding you of your past mistakes and whatever past blunders that you did. Because at that time, that's a crucial time for you now, because we are building a positive attitude here. Stay away from negative people. Number 4, as a first-time manager, celebrate your small achievements. Even on the day on the day when you do your short course, when you did that course, it might just be a small thing that you only spend about a week or a month. Celebrate that. It doesn't matter how small it is. Celebrate that anyway, because we are building yourself here. You are building yourself here. Celebrate small victories. Number 5 and last one, work on your image. Work on your image. Work on yourself. Buy yourself a nice jacket if you're a guy. Okay, a nice watch if you're a guy. Groom yourself nicely. If you are those guys who like to have a beard, make sure that your beard is nice, it's clean, it's trimmed. Okay, that's very important. Buy yourself a nice jacket, nice jeans, just work on your image. Because if you look good and you know that you look good, that boosts your self-esteem and your self-confidence. And if you know that you look good, I'm telling you, your self-confidence will hit the roof. That's exactly how we are working on. That means now, even those people who used to tell you that you have a big head, you are this, you are that. Now imagine walking into a new department, then your boss say, or maybe not even your boss, anyone, maybe some of your colleagues or even your subordinates, they say, "Oh, you look nice, so and so." That's what you've been craving for all this time. That's why you suffer imposter syndrome, because you never got anyone who said, "You are handsome, you are beautiful, you look good, you smell nice. Ooh, I like his cologne. Ooh, I like his jacket." Understand? Work on your image. Hit the gym if you can afford, or start jogging. Manage your time nicely and start jogging. Okay, jogging and be nice and be comfortable in your body. Work on your image, because that will boost your self-confidence and your self-esteem.